Battery dead? Are you kidding me? What up, besties? Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Javell Ashanti here, and today we have a reading wrap up for the month of March, which I'm so excited for because I read some good books and I'm ready to talk about them, okay? So if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and subscribe to my channel to see more of me, more book content, more lifestyle content, all the good stuff. And without further ado, let's get into the video. I went through the worst reading slump like the last month and a half, and I had a hard time finishing one book that took 3 weeks. We're not talking about that book today. We're talking about these 6 books, and I can't wait to get into it. So let's start with a series by one of my favorite authors. It's Miss Kennedy Ryan. I love Kennedy Ryan. She's my favorite author, and she has the, what's this series called? The Bennett Series. So there is Be Mine Forever, When You Are Mine, and Loving You Always. I believe When You Are Mine is book 1, Loving You Always, and then Be Mine Forever. I absolutely love these books so much. And you know, Kennedy Ryan, she just does such a good job at having POC characters, but also like interesting, captivating storylines. So this entire series, I was just eating it up. I went to the store in a snowstorm to get the second and third book. That's how bad it ate. Okay, I love these books so much. I love the different plot lines, the kind of like twist and turn of these books, and they're just so good. So if you're looking for books with like POC characters, I definitely recommend. This series has the love triangle trope in it. It has like kind of like a second chance situation going on in it. They're just so good, and if you are looking for a series to get into, I definitely recommend. I rate this entire series maybe 5 stars because they were so good and I enjoyed them so much. And one thing about me is a lot of times when I'm reading, I'll get into a book, and when I'm like almost done, maybe like the last 50 pages, I like tune out because like we're kind of already wrapping up. I already know what happens. And I didn't really have that with these books. I actually finished all of them, and I wasn't like tuned out in the last like 10%, which I really liked. So I definitely recommend. This one is by one of my favorite authors as well. I love Abby Jimenez. I have been like, I don't know, I just want to read all her books so bad. So I did get the Life's Too Short book by her, and this is a part of the Happily Ever After playlist. I think my mistake with this is I started reading this series, but I'm reading them out of order, and so I feel like I'm not really getting the full enjoyment of reading the series. So I definitely want to go back, double back, and read them from book 1 to 3, because I think this is book 3 and I haven't read book 1 or 2 yet, and that's a problem. Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez. I actually did DNF this book because I felt like I wasn't like fully enjoying it, and I don't know, I just felt like it was weird. Like, I did like the plot line. It's about this girl whose family usually dies young, and she feels like she's dying. Then she meets this neighbor who she really likes, and he also likes her, and they have like a whole thing going on. And I feel like I kind of just got lost in the plot a little bit, and I wasn't really feeling like really eager to read it. And I'm definitely a mood reader, and so I wasn't in the mood to read this, so I did DNF it. I'm gonna keep this on my TBR just because I want to go back and read it after I read book 1 and 2, because I feel like I'll like this book better by then. Next book I read is this author that I've had an obsession with the last couple months. It's Miss Frida McFadden. She is so good with like her thrillers, her murder mysteries, like the plot twist that you get from these books by her. They're so good, and I've yet to find an author who eats, okay, who devours the way Frida McFadden does. And so I read The Coworker. I finished it in like a couple days. She's so good. She's so captivating. She's also another author that really keeps me on the front of my seat, but also keeps me engaged to the very end of the story. And so The Coworker is about a worker who goes missing, and when she goes missing, her coworker noticed, and so she's like, what is going on here? And while she's trying to like figure out what happens to her coworker, she starts getting framed for the murder of the worker. I hope I didn't lose you. She started getting framed for the worker, and she's trying to figure out what's really going on here. Like, this is crazy. And the plot twist at the end is insane. It's just a really, really good book. If you like thrillers, murder mysteries, like suspenseful kind of vibe, Freida McFadden, I definitely recommend any of her books, but this one is also pretty great. I'd rate this a 5 stars. I love this woman. Last book I want to talk about today is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Again, she's quickly becoming one of my favorite authors. I bought this book recently and I read it in like 2 days, and I work. So reading a whole book after working 9-hour days is insane. But I did it and I love this woman. This is like my second book by her that's kind of like healthcare based, which I work in healthcare, which I don't know, it just makes it hit so much different. The main character, she is a doctor, but her parents has even higher expectations to follow in their footsteps, and they're like surgeons and she's an ER doctor, so for some reason her parents just doesn't think that's enough. When she goes to a funeral, on her way back she runs into this guy and they instantly hit it off, and she really, really likes him, except he's just so different. He's more rugged while she's more classy, she's more luxurious, she has a mansion, while he's running a bed and breakfast. Like, he's a little bit more rugged. He is not really poor, but like he's also just not on her level of like the social economic status. And so they kind of hit it off, and they have a thing where she's just traveling back and forth to his side of town to be with him, while, you know, she has an entire different life once she gets back home. And it's about how they're trying to merge their worlds together, but it doesn't really work because they're just so different. And she's just trying to live up to the expectations of her family, and she has to choose whether she chooses herself or she chooses pleasing her family or her parents. So that's kind of what this story is about. I really, really love this story. I don't know, for some reason I just love the way Abby Jimenez writes, and I love her characters. They're always so lovable, both the male and female character, the love interest, their little, you know, romance is just so cute. It had like so many funny parts in it. Her characters are just always so lovable, and so I really, really like this because it also talks about, you know, how society's expectations for you can really make or break your life, and also if you try to keep up with that, how you'll never really be happy. And so I thought this was just like a fun read, and it also just had some really good points, and you know, it was just such a cute book and I really enjoyed it. I'd rate this a 4.5 stars. I think this is book 4 in the series, so I definitely want to go back and read book 1 and 2. This is a part of a series. Again, you can read them as standalones, but I have heard multiple times that it's better to read in order because you just get a better reader experience. So that is all my books that I have to talk about today. I know this is probably like a shorter video for me, but I wanted to like talk about these books before they go out of my mind, because one thing about my memory is that it's not so good. I'll forget the entire synopsis of the story, and then I get on camera stuttering. It's a mess. It's crazy. So that's pretty much it for this video, you guys. I hope you guys liked it. If you've read any of these books, please let me know your thoughts, your comments, your opinions. And thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe, and I love you so much. Bye.
Ooh, I'm gonna put a study to the side. She keep coming at me every day and night. When I left in my life started feeling right.